And welcome into To Your Health. We're calling this To Your Health because, you know, a lot of times there's a time in your life with health that your life is going to come to an end. And there are things that you need to be aware of that are out there to help at this time of your life. It's a transition. And we're very fortunate in Montgomery, Alabama to have Baptist Hospice. And today with us is Maggie Thompson, and you're the director
Yes,
of
I am.
the Baptist Hospice here in Montgomery. And bereavement is handled by Mona McDermott. And we're so happy to have both of you with us today. And you know, many years ago, I was at a program, and there was a lady on there that kind of got hospice started. And you know, it was during the war, and they realized the fact that they would triage people. Those that could get back and fight, they would fight. But then all of a sudden, they'd say, well, we don't need to do anything. This guy's ready to die. And they just let him sit there. And she came along and said, wait a minute. It has to be a more dignified way. You put dignity into the dying process.
That's right. And our philosophy at Baptist Hospice is very much that we put life into every day. Mm-hmm. We don't want people to look at it as giving up. We want them to look at it as refocusing on quality versus quantity.
Right.
Comfort in terms of their physical being, but emotionally, psychologically, the pleasantness of life and your relationships. Mm-hmm. So that's what we focus on at end of life. And I want to qualify that because statistically, what we know about hospice is that when people with terminal illnesses choose hospice, they actually live longer than they do without hospice, mm-hmm. because we're able to become their physician's eyes and ears. We're able to educate them and be supportive of not only the patient, but their family as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, a person doesn't make that choice themselves. Usually the doctor has to prescribe hospice care. Is that not the case?
The patient, the person, or their family can actually reach out to a hospice or to their physician and really be evaluated for the appropriateness of mm-hmm. hospice. You absolutely have to have a physician say that this person is appropriate for hospice. From a regulatory standpoint, there are some guidelines that we follow that help us determine whether or not the patient is appropriate for hospice. But the family and patient, anybody in the community can reach mm-hmm. out for evaluation.
And Mona, I think one of the keys, and this is a big part of what you do, is the support you give the family afterwards. Right. It's not just, well, we're sorry, the individual has mm-hmm. passed away, and that's not the end for you guys.
Absolutely
It's a
not.
Transition.
Right. Actually, bereavement starts the minute they come on our service, because the patient, they're grieving. Mm-hmm. If they're still cognitively able to know what's going on, they're grieving the loss of their life.
Right.
And so the staff is dealing with the patient's loss because they may be giving up driving, their job, if they're still working, family members, and so they become more isolated. So the patient's dealing with their own grief. And then you have family members that are dealing with, they're having to let go of their loved one before the death even mm-hmm. occurs. So it starts long before the death occurs. And so, you know, the key is getting that person on hospice sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. But sadly, most people come on our service maybe a few days before they pass away. And so we don't have much time to help the family, to help the patient mm-hmm. with the grieving process and helping them with different issues, financial issues, and other issues that are going on in their lives because the death occurs so quickly. But then once the death does occur, absolutely, we follow the family or the caregiver or whoever was involved with that patient's life for the next 13 months and longer if necessary. Mm-hmm. And so If they do not want the bereavement program, then we respect their wishes. If 6 months later they call and say, hey, I've changed my mind, then we help them. So it's whatever their needs are. We meet them where they're at because everyone's different.
I think that's wonderful because that first stage is just sheer denial.
It
and
is.
then once it actually hits, you really do need help to get through that.
Right.
It's very
Right.
difficult. You serve such a good purpose, and we are
Absolutely.
so glad that you came on and that we
Yeah.
had an opportunity to let our
Just
audience
before they get
know
out of here, if
to-
our viewers want information about Baptist Hospice, how can they get information? Go online or just call you? It'd probably be better to call.
Absolutely. Just call 395-5000. Of course, that's
Okay.
in Montgomery with the area code of 334. And you can talk with anybody in our office or ask for someone specifically. Everyone there is very well versed in hospice and will help anyone at any time.
Good. Thank you, ladies,
Thank
for what
you.
you do.
Thank you.
May God continue to bless your mission.
Amen.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back right after this.